Every day you make hundreds of decisions that impact the environment. Which products you use, how you get to work, where you go on the weekends, what you choose to eat, and how you throw it away. All of these things seem out of our control, involuntary. What if I told you they weren't? What if just watching this video about my journey to Amsterdam could transform your habits? Hi, my name is Mary Margaret Jones, and I'm a rising junior social entrepreneurship major at Belmont. I chose to go on a May semester to Prague in the Netherlands and specifically focus on Amsterdam because I've never been to Europe and I needed the credits. But the experiences I had there prompted me to share practical knowledge with you. Before leaving, our cohort was assigned to create an empathy journal as a mechanism for collecting our thoughts to enhance our cultural perspectives. We also chose a social problem to identify in Amsterdam, and our team brainstormed some solutions. And I chose over-tourism because I saw it as a problem in Nashville as well. However, I was discounting empathy when choosing to research over-tourism. I had no understanding of what Dutch people were like because I'd never seen nor heard them. Our teachers told us that empathy is getting to know someone by listening and observing without influencing. The best way to do this is immersion. So I did. The only park in Amsterdam. I landed in Amsterdam and started taking notes. I noticed that environmental sustainability is an issue that we face in Nashville, and Amsterdam is already working really hard to combat it. I wrote down everything I'd seen in Nashville regarding sustainability. This created 3 major categories to focus on in Amsterdam: transportation, air and water quality, and waste management. Every category presents a different dilemma that we'll delve into. We took several educational workshops from Dr. Fons Trompenaars, an expert in culture for business. He and his team defined a dilemma as 2 propositions in conflict with each other, where both have interesting advantages. The prime example is leadership and service. Too much dominating leadership becomes dictatorial. Only living service-oriented reduces your authority and impact. To solve the dilemma, you combine these 2 opposites. What about X can make Y better? When we combine the 2, we get servant leadership. Trompenaars defines a servant leader as someone who enables others to perform better. I wanted to integrate environmental sustainability to find solutions to dilemmas and become servant leaders in the transformation of Nashville. There is no better way to innovate than to be an empathetic observer. This is my roommate, Olivia.
Hi, I'm the sustainability intern at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and I'm going to be your sustainability guide to Nashville.
And I'll be your sustainability guide in Amsterdam. First up, transportation. Let's go! This is our commute from the apartment to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Olivia goes to the parking garage and takes a short drive to another parking garage, one of many, before arriving in the front of the building. In Amsterdam, you have a couple more options for transportation. All of them start with a walk, either to a bus, train, or metro. You leave the station, you come to another station, and for the most part, you have to take another walk to your destination. It might be more time consuming, but I note in my empathy journal that it's more environmental friendly. They're in the right corner, and that ticket for 3 days of metro rides is only 21 euros compared to a one-way Uber ride from downtown during peak prices. However, if you didn't want to use public transportation or walk, there's always a third option: biking.
And we're the proud owners of at least 30 million bicycles. It means a lot of people got 2 or 3. Ride our bicycles to the office, to the shopping mall, to school, to when you visit your in-laws, whatever.
We Nashvillians are faced with a dilemma in the realm of transportation. On one hand, driving is efficient and direct, like us. On the other hand, people in Amsterdam are more physically and socially active. Can we ever crack the line? Now we're going to take a trek around Amsterdam. While exploring the streets of Amsterdam, I noticed that the buildings were very close to each other, touching mostly. Infrastructure surrounds the canals. While the canals used to be undrinkable sewers, the Dutch took initiative in changing that. My friend Allie told me all about it.
So we were on the canal cruise, and we asked the person steering the boat how the canal was so clean. And so something he said was that there's an organization that has kids from the school fish for plastic that's floating in the water in the canal. And once they gather enough plastic from the kids fishing, they combine it all together and create new boats.
There are drawbacks, however. Cigarettes billow smoke in these tight public spaces and are left on the ground. This chemical biohazard undermines the great strides Amsterdam has made in sustainability. Furthermore, there's a limited amount of green space and trees that improve air quality. Nashville has over 6 times the amount of land that Amsterdam has, with 200,000 less citizens. So we spread out our buildings, which contributes to Nashville as an unwalkable city. We have large public parks, but did not make as much of an effort for anti-pollution because we can't see and feel the effects like they do in Amsterdam. So the dilemma becomes wide open spaces or more attention toward smaller polluted spaces. I like to call this final section TOSS. How does Nashville and Amsterdam do in terms of waste management with plastic and recycling? Amsterdam does pretty well, making sure that most of its containers are recyclable. For instance, a lot of the drinks were in glass bottles or in plastic alternatives, and sustainable packaging in food, which I enjoyed unboxing this sandwich at Joe and the Juice. While there is less waste, the management side could be disappointing. Lack of accessible trash cans let the trash pile up or on the ground. As you look around Nashville, start to notice how much plastic is being used around food and drinks. Here's Olivia to give you an update on how Nashville is doing on waste management and recycling.
Nashville has a wide range of kind of people who really care and people who don't necessarily really care at all. We get a lot of tourists through here, so people who are coming from different states and even different countries have a different understanding of what sustainability looks like when they get here. Specifically, glass isn't recycled here in Nashville, and some people might think that it is, and that can really cause contamination to our recycling. Or people who have different things that can be composted where they live versus where we live. It just, this wide array of people coming together here in Nashville kind of creates this mix of people who don't know what to do and people who do.
On one hand, it is cheaper and portable, but on the other hand, the Amsterdam food industry is operating cleaner and ultimately saving humans and the environment from forever chemicals and plastic. These dilemmas are so complex it seems like there is no hope. Is it worth it to care about transportation, water and air quality, and waste management if you can't transform Nashville? Meet Donica, a student at Duke University who traveled to Amsterdam to be a servant leader.
This is called the Alchemist Garden Community. I do research projects on wellness-oriented spaces that are also focused on fighting against climate change. And this felt like the perfect spot, especially because I wanted to be in Europe. So the Alchemist is a restaurant right now, but it's also kind of a gateway to have a community that's centered around wellness.
Have you noticed any differences between environmental stuff in the US versus here?
Yeah, I would say so. I think in the US it's very commercialized. It's used as a way to like attract people who like really extravagant commercials, and it's almost like becoming a brand. Like I don't know, like it's like be sustainable. Whereas here it's like very real. Like I think it's not easy what they're doing. I think it does lead to a lot of burnout. But honestly, like to have a place that's this centered around like investing in the environment and yourself and the community, but it's a vision worth fighting for sure.
A vision worth fighting for. That's a powerful line. But without dilemma reconciliation, we can't share that vision practically with others. Gratefully, all of this is doable. We don't have to be as adventurous as Donica to learn from people in Amsterdam. We can stay here in Nashville and become servant leaders using the principles learned from dilemma reconciliation. Let's apply individually what we've learned from seeing Nashville and Amsterdam. First off, transportation or travel. American efficiency versus Dutch physical activeness. If we combine the best of the two, we get carpooling, to reduce your carbon footprint and have a social interaction. We can't all move to a walkable city, so this is a good way to start. Also try to move more at work, with standing or taking walks outside. Little by little, you'll add steps, social, wellness, and energy to your life. Whenever you take a trek in the great parks in Nashville, notice the air and water quality. It's very high in those places. But denser, less green cities like Amsterdam pay special attention to pollution, unlike Nashville. Wherever you are in the city, you can reconcile this dilemma by supporting green spaces and or creating your own. Go to the parks and keep them running. There's so many programs that get funding because of your free attendance. If you want to add to your space, plant a tree or herbs or buy plants. Recently, I bought this snake plant to help with air filtration in my apartment. Finally, let's combine cheap and portable with making a difference. If you don't already have a metal water bottle, go buy one because you'll end up saving more money by not buying and throwing away plastic water bottles. As you go about your day, take inventory of all that you use that's contained in plastic. Swap food storage for glass and reuse as much wood, glass, and metal as possible because they can be repurposed. Plastic destroys the planet and doesn't decompose for over 500 years. So just making one change in your product at a time makes a huge difference on your health and waste. So let's go back to Olivia. She didn't actually go on the Amsterdam trip, but she is making an impact in Nashville in practical ways.
As an intern at the Country Music Hall of Fame, I've been able to get all of their disposable packaging turned into compostable packaging. And now they're composting more than ever. I've also been able to streamline a lot of their signage so people know exactly what to compost, recycle, and throw away. Working here, I've realized that I'm making more of a difference than I think, but less of a difference than I want. However, environmental sustainability will always be a vision worth fighting for.
That's okay. You don't have to hug a tree to save the planet.